Yo, morning guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is a psychiatric, self-therapeutic, multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the highest goals and ambitions that we have set for ourselves, as well as those around us. If you would like a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, and so on and so forth, you can check that out on the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years straight to January 2021 and beyond for more updated versions. That being said, let's just dive into the second segment of the day. As usual, two things. The first one, if you would like to skip this even, 1 to 2 minute introduction on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook as you're watching as a VOD or a video on playback, you can always do that by just skipping ahead about 2 minutes. Another thing I can mention, of course, that's if you're a recurrent viewer. Another thing to mention is that this is a Solve 6.5 override, system override version 6.5. In other words, a rule to break all other rules, a system principle that allows me to free myself from the system. Now, most likely moving on to tomorrow, we're going to try to move ahead with Solve 7.0. So 7.0 is going to be kind of a new revelation, or not revelation, but I've come to terms with something through a conversation I had with my cousin over the weekend, and we'll be talking about that as part of phase 2 of this live stream. So again, as usual, 11 segments, the table of contents, second segment. There are 11 segments grouped into 3 phases, spread across a 15-minute live stream. Won't take up too much of your time, but what you see is what you get. So let's sit down here and take a look on the screen. You'll see that there's a lot of stuff we have to cover today, from food to nutrition to, I guess, Excel spreadsheets, databasing, photography, and some of the stuff I have to showcase on screen and I'm maximizing right now. But some of the things here I actually won't be able to show in completion. We'll have to bleed into tomorrow's live stream. That's because it's not just food and photography and nutrition and going on with my cousin and relationships and stuff, so on and so forth, but there's also a lot of finance, volunteering, administrative stuff that I would like to get to that's important, and that's probably going to be tomorrow's stream. So let's just dive into the content. So let's start with collage, I guess. What we see on the top left hand corner, let's maximize that a little bit. You can see sort of everything here. There's avocado shake, there's some red rice, malt rice, it seems. On the left hand side, there's at the very top, there's a collage photograph, of course, for the thumbnail, and then we also have the voice recording of the conversation and interactions I generally have, even sometimes monologues, soliloquies, things I speak to myself, so I record it, so we'll talk about that. At the very bottom here, at the very bottom there, we have we have some food at the very bottom that has to do with food that I received from my guardian, so we're going to talk about that. We also have me taking a photograph of my buddy's car and stuff like that. And then here's what you see, ice cream ice cream at the very bottom, Korean ice cream. So we'll talk all about that, and then let me get rid of this because I can show them one individually at a time. We also have another one here, a continuation of that. We have the receipt at the very top, and at the very bottom we have a place that we dined at between me and my cousin. It was a Taiwanese restaurant. Sorry, I'm a little bit off edge because I realized that there's something here that I didn't want to show, but it ended up being on screen anyway, so I'm not too pleased about that. So I'll be careful. And then here's the Google Maps, right? Going ahead around, and that's the location before we went there. We also have tomatoes here. That's a class 4 item, a gift I received from my business partner, so we'll talk about that too. On the left hand corner, you also see that there's a bunch of addresses and so on and so forth, but basically they're all restaurants and places that I have tried out, and so it's a little bit of a catalog of where I've eaten before. So some of these things you might want to try out if you ever come by up here, and let's say you're traveling and you go to like Canada. Alright, and then at the very top here, at the very bottom store, we have the business products, and we really want to get to that. So that's something that's really important. Okay, bottom left hand corner, the last thing, there's also this kind of memento mori stuff, and that's going to be covered in the next 2 minutes. If we get rid of the photographs and digital assets. You can see that in phase 3. So all phase 2 is all that kind of digital stuff. Phase 3 is very physical. So in my room region D3 right there, I mean D4, D1 over there, and D4, but that's the main highlight we're gonna go back and forth with, because there's a lot of stuff there that I want to get over with. Well, not a lot. There's just a few things left, so we'll get that. We'll get to that in about maybe 6 minutes in. So let's start with the media assets, since that's the most important. I'll talk about this. It's a lot of stress trying to get through this. So we have relationships and audio recording. So I regret to say that I didn't go to a live stream yesterday. So that's gonna damage the kind of streak, right? And then it will be harder to promote. I'll get less reach out in public in terms of just the algorithms, because I haven't been consistent with my video uploads. But that's fine. The point is, I suppose we got this live stream yesterday, so instead it's today, and you see the streams about math and a lot of products. So you see, look at the title, it says $1,240 plus $230 plus like $25. So the $25 is class 2, class 1, class 4 with my cousin. So that's like a gift item that we ate together from someone I care about deeply, like my cousins, who are like family. Class 1 items are the $1,240 worth of business products. We'll cover that we covered that already actually in the previous live stream, but we need to wrap up whatever's left, like the packaging. So that will be covered in phase 3 of the stream. Those are class 4 items because I purchased them for my kind of fellow colleagues as I'm resigning, who have again also been like family to me. But they're class 1 items also because I purchased them myself, my own hard-earned money. And finally, lastly, the $230 worth is my own stuff. So class 1 only. I purchased that only for myself. Those are my own supplements and research products I'm taking. So that's what the title is on the live stream. And then of course we also have the recording on the left-hand side. So we did one thing I really want to highlight, of course, is my interactions with my cousin. And like I said, I came to terms with the fact that after speaking with him, I realized that the hypervigilance I'm experiencing from CPTSD due to narcissistic abuse from my own, and domestic violence and financial ruin and suicidal depression, all that kind of bullshit that I experienced for the first 15 years, I mean more than that, maybe about 2 decades of my life, came from my own biological guardian, my own biological parents. So at the same time, I've been resolving all that, but some of these things are still here, and I noticed that it was sabotaging, because I have trust issues, severe trust issues, that's sabotaging my relationships even with my own family, like my cousins and stuff. And so I came to terms with realizing how I have a very high, strong critic of myself. I'm my own worst critic, but it's incredibly wasteful expenditure of my resources. It's horrifying. It's such a waste of time, because nobody is even hard on me like the way I am on myself. So then I'm apologizing and trying to overcompensate, and other people are like, why are you apologizing? Why are you doing all this stuff? Just chill, relax, dude, just relax. We didn't think any of that. So that was something I had to really come to terms with, and that's my cousin. He sat down with me and kind of clarified, and he's like, yeah, no, that's all in your head. That's some construct you'd had from your upbringing, but it's not the way you were brought up is not representative of any of the people that you're with anymore. You have healthy relationships now. You're not in an unhealthy environment anymore. You're not in a dysfunctional environment anymore. So what was good for you then, your survival instincts that kicked in then, and mechanism coping strategies, are not useful anymore. Not here, not in this environment. They were then, but not now. So it's like I really come to terms with that. I have to change my behavior, and it's easier said than done. So that was the main highlight here. Obviously, we ate at a restaurant, Taiwanese restaurant. We got some bubble tea. We walked around, and that's all covered there. But of course, that was the main highlight for me in terms of the main takeaway. Wow, that was a lot. So let's move to this. I knew that would take a lot of time. We have only like 5.5 minutes left. So here's some class 2 items, some avocado drinks. Oh shit, that's not the main highlight. Okay, we have to go back down here. So that was segment 4 and 5. That took like 3-4 minutes. So here we have Stoic reflections. Okay, copyright notice, not my shit, not my stuff. Go over to Story Reflections, that page on Instagram. We'll lower the volume a little bit. This is a calendar that tracks all the weeks in your life, and you can just kind of check it off. Kind of keeps you prioritize. I know it sounds a little bit. I know a lot of people have a negative reaction to this. They go, "Oh, wait, what? That's so depressing." But of course, if you're a high achiever, you don't see it that way. You take a look at it, oh, that's great, because then you can map out your entire life, and plan accordingly as to, okay, if family is your priority, if business is your priority, you really start to understand, I don't have a lot of time to waste here. I better live each day, every week, with meaningfulness and happiness and joy, and focus my time and attention, energy, and resources on things that really matter, and stop wasting it. So, because this will really keep you on track with that. It's like project management in a sense, but applied to life in general. And then we have, okay, what else do we have aside from that? For the first time, actually, I'm taking a snapshot of my own channel on Instagram. So, project to sell the prompts challenge, also. So, I just thought it was interesting because I had like 2 live streams on Sunday as well as Saturday. So it's all there, and I noticed, of course, that there are captions, so that's great. It makes it easier. What else is digital media assets we need to cover? At the very top left and right hand corner, and tell them I'm not trying to make it too big here because there are phone numbers here. I don't want to expose anything too much, but there's not a lot to expose anyways. This is just literally, addresses and the restaurants. It's just restaurant places of eat, food plazas, food joints, fast food restaurants. And I have a catalog here, and I took a snapshot because I wanted to bring this with me if I'm going to go with my cousin, and we decided to go to someplace new, so it didn't really matter anyways. But I updated the catalog there. So what else do we have? Speaking of those kind of media assets, we also have something I had to scan. I took a photograph of the receipt as well. I had to scan one of the products crates that you see in the background in phase 3. Like I said, we're gonna talk about that in a second. But the Nutrimil whey from chocolate, whey chocolate Nutrimil from Yuzan Health Sciences. It's a carton that I received. That's kind of like just logistically just a way to package all the stuff and gifts that I'm gonna give away to my colleagues, and it was given to me by my business partner. So I took a snapshot of that quantity, 11 bags. It seems best before date. It's right there too. So that's that, and let's cover now. Okay, so photography. So let's start with the most importantly, the tomatoes I received from my business partner. Speaking about business, right? So she came by and she dropped not only products that I purchased for my colleagues, but also tomatoes that she handpicked from her garden. So I really appreciate this. I gave this away to my guardian, so now it's a class 2 gift as well. So class 2 gift, and yeah, so really fresh, very plump, very nice. We also have the bags here, just a little bit before snapshot. And you can see that I was really annoyed with myself because they were bundled in with all the supplements, and I didn't realize that I didn't cover that on live stream. So you can see that very bottom right there, there's the tomatoes. Moving on, we also have, again, of course, like I said, where we went. You know, this is Google Maps right here. You can see me scouring out for Malaysian restaurants, so Gourmet Malaysia Garam Salam, or something like that. But of course, we didn't end up going there. We went to a Taiwanese restaurant instead. So it's interesting that yeah, some of these have 4.6 ratings, some 3.9. Malay was just something that I brought up because it's like, oh, that's something that is really one of my favorite cuisines, and my cousin was down for that. So you can see everything here, a collage of everything. Now, where we actually went, there's a QR code for that. So Mabu Generation is a Taiwanese restaurant, and you can see they're kind of like a beef brisket ramen as well. No, sizzling pot. You see like corn, green onions, noodles, black pepper chicken on sizzling hot pan, and on the right hand side you see those like leaf boiled eggs, Taiwanese pork belly on fried rice with broccoli and stuff like that. So it was great. Here's the menu of something that we were passing by as we were driving around afterwards. So here's the receipt, somewhat, and the order receipt. It's not really spaghetti. Oh, this is spaghetti, Taiwanese spaghetti. Wow. Anyways, we have like 25 seconds left. So we were driving by, and his car is crazy. He's got a new freaking car. Not gonna talk too much about that. But here's ice cream, and then of course I received at the end of the day some of the chickpeas and red rice. This is class 2 items that I had to document. Came from my own guardians and so on and so forth. And so here, and avocado drinks as well too. So I think that's everything that I can cover today's live stream, and I gotta end it now, so because I don't have enough time. All right, that's sad. Continues tomorrow morning. Jesus, this is so sad. We didn't even get to phase 3. Fuck. Gee, what's going on here?